Today we are going to talk about the concept of regional development and federalism. It is the second lesson in your textbook, and about regional development here. This concept of regional development we already discussed about this, and today we are going to more focus on federalism. Before that, let's briefly revise the what is the concept of regional development, how it was developed in our country. Regional development. To discuss about regional development, we need to briefly discuss about our country's condition. Regional disparity was a great challenge of our country, or still is the great challenge of our country. To reduce that regional disparity, the concept of regional development was adopted from 2029 BS. In 2029 BS, Nepal was divided into 4 development regions, and in 37 BS, 2037 BS, the Far Western Development Region was divided into Mid-Western Development Region and Far Western Development Region. Then there were 5 development regions, isn't it? And this all the things are there. Let's go for the federalism directly. Last class, if you remember, we have briefly talked about federalism. What is federalism? That was. And today I'm going to again discuss about this. See there, the federalism. Regionalism in Nepal was based on the principle of Unitarianism. These things we already discussed. Regionalism means the concept of this development or regional development or development region, isn't it? Now that was based upon the Unitarianism, not the pluralism or federalism. And Nepal practiced this system for a long time, but it failed in bringing out balanced development. What was the main objective of this regional development or the concept of regionalism was to reduce the disparity or to develop nation in a balanced way. That was the very first purpose of that. But that was not fulfilled with this concept of regional development or regionalism, isn't it? Because of that, due to that, after the second mass movement, in 2062-63, it started from 2062 Chaitra 24 and ended in 2063 Baisakh 11. Isn't it? People expressed their desire for the positive transformation. Nepal thus decided to follow the federal structure of the government or federal ruling system, or Nepal adopted the principle of federalism. According to that, or accordingly, it was declared a federal country in 15 Jesta 2065. 65 means that was the date of the first CA first meeting, means Constituent Assembly or CA. Constituent Assembly election was there in 2064 by Chaitra 28, and that CA meeting was held in 2065 Jesta 15, isn't it? On that day, Nepal was declared as a Federal Democratic Republic of Nepal, and after that, first CA was not able to issued a new constitution, and second CA election was there, and after the second CA election, second CA or second Constituent Assembly issued constitution in 2072 Ashos 3rd BS, and from that date Nepal adopted federalism in our constitution, or our constitution at present is federal constitution. We will discuss that about constitution, characteristics of constitution. There is one lesson later on we will discuss, or you will discuss more about constitution there. And present constitution, the constitution which was issued in 2072 BS, that constitution adopt the nation or adopt the principle of federalism, or nation was divided into different federal state. From that time, our country is adopting federalism in practice, and now different three tiers of government or executive bodies, legislative bodies are working in our country. This is the map of federal Nepal. There are 7 provinces, isn't it? And province number 1, 2, Bagmati province, Gandaki province, province number 5, Karnali province, and Far West or Sudur Paschim province. These are the 7 provinces in our country according to the federal structure. Now let's come to the point, like what is federalism? The definition: federalism is a dual government system. See there in the very first. Federalism is a dual government system, like one in federal capital city, another in province, in which nation is divided into a central government, means federal government, and a constituent political unit or provincial government. Isn't it? This system allocates power to the local bodies, means this system, previously our government was only there, unitary government was there in the capital city, no federal or provincial government. There were not the provincial government like or development regions, there was not the government, only one administrative office was there, isn't it? In development, this regional concept of development or regionalism, that was the situation. And now there are governments, 7 provinces, 7 governments are there. This system allocates the power, means this government, dual government system allocates the power from federal or center to the local bodies tend to bring the equal development. Why we need to allocate the power? Why need to give power for the provincial government? Why need to give power for the local level? Means for the equal development, or to bring equal development, or for the balanced development, to reduce the regional disparity, isn't it, of all parts of the country. That is the very first point. Another, there are mainly 2 sets of government: provincial at provinces and national or federal at the center or capital city. In federalism, normally there is executive. In terms of executive, there is one should be federal, another provincial. This is the principle. Don't forget. Government, like there are mainly 2 sets of government. One set, that's federal, another set, provincial. Federal in the capital city, provincial in different provinces, as per the needs. How many provinces are there in the nation, as per that, isn't it? And in other words, there are parallel legislature, executive, and judiciary. Parallel legislature, executive, and judiciary. See here, executive there is in federal, provincial, and legislature also federal and provincial assembly, isn't it? That is, or judiciary also. Judiciary also here is Supreme Court and High Court. Isn't it? In this way, there are parallel. See there, parallel executive, legislature, and judiciary all are there. Isn't it? This system is known as federal system. Means executive is there in province, they are in federal, legislature also, and judiciary also. This is one. Another means local government no longer depend upon the central government. Now here is the one, like in terms of our nation. In terms of our nation, there are local, isn't it? Local executive also are there, like 753. And not only, legislature also are there, like village or municipal assembly. Isn't it? Municipal assembly, Gaon Sabha or Nagar Sabha. Isn't it? Here means legislature. In terms of our nation, federalism is not only depend, or nation is only not divided here in federal and provincial, but here are local levels. Local level executives also are there in our country. This is, and now these local level are no longer depend upon the federal, but they are depend upon provincial. principally. But in our nation, local level also are the sovereign. They are not depend upon provincial or federal. They are constituent, or they depends, they operate, they run their administration, they formed rules and regulations as per the constitution, or authority given by the constitution, or power given by the constitution. And that is one. Another, they are autonomous and highly self-sufficient. Means these executive, federal, provincial, local, or this legislature are not of judiciary. Hey, in terms of executive and legislature, they are autonomous and they run self-sufficiently, no, not depend upon any direction or any other laws there. And they run both administrative and development activities on their own. Means this federal government, provincial government, local government, they run development works of their own. That is one. And the people get a lot of power. Now, when power and authority is handed over to the local or provincial level, people are getting more power. It is obvious fact, isn't it? Their participation in administration and development grows tremendously, and local resources are optimally utilized. See here, when we give authority, when we give power to the local level, and obviously the participation of the people into administration, into development works will be increased, no doubt. In our country too, this is increasing day by day, isn't it? That is one part. And the local resources now are mobilizing appropriately, or means and resources are more utilized at local level, because local level also are there, provincial governments are there, isn't it? They are mobilizing, or they are making plan themselves, they are making rules and regulations themselves, because provincial assembly can form rules and regulations for province, or that village assembly or municipal assembly, these bodies, or Gaon Sabha or Nagar Sabha, they can form rules and regulations for the local bodies. Means they are no longer, or these local levels or provincial levels, they are no longer depend upon the federal rules and regulations only, isn't it? Somehow they need to based upon or depend upon, but not in all the forms. In short, development is very competitive now. Okay, there are many local levels, like 753 local levels. Within the district, there are many. Means one local level compete with another. One province compete with another province. Okay, province, Bagmati province government did these things, or development works are very smooth, very fast. Okay, then Gandaki province too, they need to work as per that, isn't it? Means there is the competition for the development, isn't it? These kind of things are there. Means now, see here, these tiers, different tiers, or this structure helps for the means and resource mobilization and smooth and fast development, isn't it? These are the things. Here, why I am not talking, भाइ बहिनीहरू, यहाँ हेर्नुहोस्, जस्तो फेडरलिजम भनेको के हो भन्दा दोहोरो सरकारको सिस्टम, सङ्घीयता भनेको चाहिँ राज्यको अधिकार केन्द्रमा प्रदेशमा विभाजन गर्ने प्रणालीलाई चाहिँ सङ्घीयता भनिन्छ सामान्य अर्थमा भन्दाखेरि। दोहोरो डुअल गभर्मेन्ट सिस्टम, दोहोरो, यहाँ पनि सरकार छ, यहाँ पनि सरकार छ सामान्य रूपमा। र ओल्डमा भएको प्र्याक्टिसमा चाहिँ यो फेडरल र प्रोभिन्सियल गभर्मेन्ट छ, र लोकल लेभल गभर्मेन्ट्स डिपेन्ड अपन द प्रोभिन्स। त्यो प्रोभिन्समा चाहिँ यो स्थानीय सरकारहरू चाहिँ प्रोभिन्समा हात रहने गरी मोस्ट अफ द प्लेसेसमा चाहिँ त्यो खालको छ। यो देशमा फरक छ। तर हाम्रोमा चाहिँ के छ भन्दाखेरि यो लोकल लेभल गभर्मेन्ट भनेको जो स्थानीय सरकार भन्छौँ हामी, यो स्थानीय सरकार चाहिँ यो प्रदेश सरकार अथवा सङ्घीय सरकार अन्तर्गत नभइकन, त्यसको एउटा युनिटी नभइकन, इन्टिटी अथवा एउटा शाखाको रूपमा जस्तो नभइकन, यो के छ भन्दाखेरि संविधानत नै यसलाई निर्माण गरिएको छ। संवैधानिक व्यवस्था छ। जस्तो स्थानीय सरकारको पनि संविधानमै के अधिकार हुने भनेर संविधानमै अधिकारको ग्यारेन्टी गरिएको छ। त्यही भएर यो चाहिँ सेल्फ सफिसियन्ट अथवा यो सेल्फ डिपेन्ड हो, यो सोभरेन इन्टिटी हो, यो पनि यसलाई बुझ्नु पर्यो एउटा। अनि यहाँ त्यसै गरी फेडरल एसेम्ब्ली छ, जस्तो बाइक्यामरल भनेर छ। त यो एक्जिक्युटिभ, लेजिस्लेचर र जुडिसियरी त सिभिक कन्सियसनेस भन्ने लेसनमा, नागरिक चेतना भन्ने एउटा छुट्टै युनिट छ, त्यसमा छुट्टा छुट्टै लेसनमा पनि डिटेल पढ्नुहुन्छ। तर संघीयता बुझ्नका लागि थोरै बुझ्नुपर्छ। यो चाहिँ फेडरल स्ट्रक्चरमा छ एक्जिक्युटिभ 3टा लेभलको छ। अनि त्यसै गरी लेजिस्लेचर भनेको संसद पनि भन्छौँ हामी अथवा व्यवस्थापिका। त्यो व्यवस्थापिका पनि सङ्घीय, प्रादेशिक, प्रदेश सभा र गाउँ तथा नगरसभा भनेर यसरी सङ्घीयतामा यसरी विभाजन गरिएको छ। अब फेडरल भनेको यो सङ्घीय संसद अथवा व्यवस्थापिकामा चाहिँ त्यहाँ 2टा सदन छन्, के अरे हाउस अफ रिप्रेजेन्टेटिभ र नेसनल एसेम्ब्ली। भनेपछि प्रदेश सभा चाहिँ युनिक्यामरल छ अथवा एक सदनात्मक छ, त्यो प्रदेश सभा मात्रै हो। यसरी सङ्घीयतामा हाम्रो सङ्घीयता अथवा फेडरलिजममा यसरी अधिकारको विभाजन गरिएको छ। Federal legislature form rules and regulations for the federal government, provincial assembly form rules and regulations for the provincial government, and village assembly, गाउँ सभा अथवा नगर सभा, village assembly or municipal assembly form rules and regulations for local executive, भनेको स्थानीय सरकारका लागि फर्म गर्छ। यो यसरी चाहिँ रुल्स एन्ड रेगुलेसन फर्ममा छ। अब कुन सेक्टरमा भन्ने चाहिँ यो चाहिँ संवैधानिक व्यवस्था अन्तर्गत हुन्छ। भनेपछि अब जुडिसियरीको इन टर्म्स अफ जुडिसियरी पनि भनेका छौँ हामीले अघि। के भनेको छ भने त्यहाँ parallel, there are parallel legislature, executive and judiciary भनेको व्यवस्थापिका, कार्यपालिका र न्यायपालिका प्यारलल हुन्छ। न्यायपालिका पनि भनेको छ, तर न्यायपालिकामा चाहिँ सुप्रिम कोर्ट, हाई कोर्ट र डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट छ यहाँ है। डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट अल्सो आर देयर। जिल्ला अदालतहरू, सर्वोच्च अदालत, उच्च अदालत र जिल्ला अदालत, यो 3वटा अदालत छन्। तर यो के छैन भन्दाखेरि यो जस्तो लेजिस्लेचर र एक्जिक्युटिभ जस्तो फेडरल फर्ममा छैन। हेर्दाखेरि स्ट्रक्चर चाहिँ फेडरलिजमको जस्तै देखिन्छ 3टा लेभलमा, तर के बिर्सनु हुँदैन भने यो चाहिँ जुडिसियरी चाहिँ यो युनिटरी फर्ममा छ, फेडरल फर्ममा छैन। किनभने सुप्रिम कोर्ट जस्तो यहाँ फेडरल एक्जिक्युटिभ भनेको सङ्घीय सरकारले प्रदेश सरकारलाई कन्ट्रोल गर्दैन, संविधान त कन्ट्रोल हुने हो। संवैधानिक व्यवस्था अन्तर्गत प्रदेश सरकारले काम गर्छ, सङ्घीय सरकारले पनि त्यही संवैधानिक व्यवस्था अन्तर्गत र स्थानीय सरकारले पनि त्यही संवैधानिक व्यवस्था अन्तर्गत काम गर्छन्। भने यहाँ चाहिँ सुप्रिम कोर्टको व्यवस्था अनुसार बाँकी रहेका उच्च अदालत र जिल्ला अदालतहरू चल्छन्। भनेको सर्वोच्च अदालतको मातहत नै रहेर चल्छन्। त्यही भएर यो चाहिँ स्ट्रक्चर हेर्दाखेरि स्ट्रक्चरली इट लुक्स लाइक फेडरल, बट प्रिन्सिपल्ली इट इज नट द फेडरल। यो चाहिँ बुझ्नुपर्छ। यसरी हाम्रो संहितामा यो कुराहरू छन्। फेडरलिजम हामीले यसरी इम्प्लिमेन्ट गरेका छौँ। दिस इज नोन एज फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर है। अब लेट्स गो फर द इम्पोर्टेन्स अफ फेडरलिजम। वाइ डु वी निड फेडरलिजम देन? Isn't it? These are the structures. Different layers of the governments are there. Legislature are there. Isn't it? What are the importance of federalism? Why we accept federalism? Why we implement federalism? Simply see there, the very first point. Nepal is geographically, culturally, ethnically diverse country. Means Nepal is the country of unity in diversity. We have talked. Means there are lots of diversity. There like geography, culture, ethnicity, or language. Isn't it? There are diversity. Religion itself, there are diversity. Isn't it? So people from all background can get equal respect, rights, and opportunities in federalism. Means federalism helps to address the diversity of the nation. So that is the very first importance. Why we need federalism? Means our country is based upon diversity, and this diversity should be addressed. Isn't it? And to address that diversity, we accept federalism, and federalism helps to address that diversity. Very first point. Second, it will also help in the rapid development of the country. We already discussed about this all. Isn't it? There are provincial government, federal government, or local level governments. They are conducting development work. They are making plans, and that is development is rapid, development is fast, is smooth. To make this, for the rapid development, not in a certain place, not in Kathmandu only, not in some cities, but in each and every geographical regions, there should be the rapid development that for that purpose, or that is another importance of federalism. And it will decentralize the power. I already mentioned here. See, federal, provincial, and local. Previously, all the powers were used by the federal. Now, power is used by local, provincial, isn't it? Means power is being decentralized here. Yes? And to just decentralize the power, so people can exercise all the rights and services from their local area. Now, people can exercise all the rights from the local level. No need to come to the federal. Or even most of the powers are there in the local. No need to come to the provincial too. Means they can use that rights, power there in the local area, or to give power to the people at their locality. That is another importance of federalism. Another, service to the people on their doorstep. See their fourth point. Service to people on their doorstep. You have heard the one slogan, गाउँ गाउँमा सिंह दरबार. Mostly this phrase, this slogan were used by our politicians. What they did? नेताहरूले भन्ने गर्छ नि, अब गाउँ गाउँमा सिंह दरबार हुन्छ. सिंह दरबार does not mean that constructing one big building like सिंह दरबार. That सिंह दरबार here means the service, state service, which will be available at the doorstep of the people. घर घरमा त्यो चाहिँ सुविधाहरू उपलब्ध हुनेछ भन्न खोजेको थियो. हो, त्यही भएर सर्भिस टु पिपल अन देयर डोर स्टेप. द लोकल गभर्मेन्ट एम्स टु प्रोभाइड क्विक एन्ड इफेक्टिभ सर्भिस टु द पिपल. Means local level government is there in locality, in a certain area, and that government responds each and every problem quickly, isn't it? Or provide service very fast in a certain locality. So that is another importance of the federalism. And the means and resources can be mobilized at local level effectively, which helps smooth economic development. For the development, for the proper development of the nation, what we need to do means we need to mobilize means and resources more effectively, isn't it? And when local level governments or executive, provincial, or three levels of executive or power is divided into these three levels, when they mobilize means and resources, an obvious fact is that is smooth development will be there. Because the mobilization of means and resources is the prime concern for the development, isn't it? This is all. भनेको अब फेडरलिजममा भाइ बहिनीहरू महत्त्व भनेको के हो भन्दा पहिलो कुरा चाहिँ हाम्रो विविधता, हाम्रो देश चाहिँ विविधतामा आधारित देश भएको हुनाले त्यो विविधतालाई सम्बोधन गर्नका लागि संघीयताको आवश्यकता पर्छ. यो चाहिँ यसको पहिलो इम्पोर्टेन्स भनेको यो हो. संघीयताले हाम्रो विविधतालाई के गर्छ? सम्बोधन गर्छ पहिलो. दोस्रो के हो भन्दाखेरि यसले विकासलाई चाहिँ स्मुथ गराउने काम अथवा ऱ्यापिड भनेको द्रुत विकासका लागि पनि संघीयता आवश्यक पर्छ. त्यो किन भन्दाखेरि त्यहाँ लास्ट पोइन्टमा हेर्नुभयो भने के हुन्छ भन्दा मिन्स एन्ड रिसोर्सेस मोबिलाइज भेरी इफेक्टिभली. भनेको त्यो विकासका लागि के गर्नुपर्छ भन्दा मिन्स एन्ड रिसोर्सको मोबिलाइजेसन के हुनुपर्छ? द्रुत रूपमा हुनुपर्छ. संघीयताले यो कुरालाई सहयोग गर्छ. यो पनि यसको महत्त्व हो. त्यसै गरी अर्को चाहिँ शक्तिको, राज्य शक्तिको विकेन्द्रीकरण हुन्छ. यहाँ भनेको स्टेट पावर पहिले के थियो? फेडरलले मात्रै प्रयोग गर्थ्यो, सेन्टरमा मात्रै हुन्थ्यो भनेपछि अब त्यो के भयो? यहाँ लोकल लेभलसम्म गयो भनेपछि राज्यको शक्ति चाहिँ के भयो? विकेन्द्रीकृत भयो. त्यो विकेन्द्रीकृत भइसकेपछि के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि त्यो पावर चाहिँ कसले भन्दाखेरि पिपुलले, भनेको कमन पिपुलले कहाँ प्रयोग गर्न सक्छन् भन्दा इन देयर ओन लोकालिटी. भनेको तिनीहरूको आफ्नो स्थानमा दे क्यान एक्सर्साइज मोर पावर अथवा दे क्यान गेट मोर राइट्स, होइन, उनीहरूले अधिकार चाहिँ त्यहाँ प्रयोग गर्न सक्छन्. यसको संघीयताको अर्को महत्त्व यो हो. भनेपछि अर्को के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि राज्यका सुविधाहरू भनेको सर्भिस टु पिपल अन देयर डोर स्टेप. भनेको अब के हुन्छ? यसले राज्य र जनता बिचको सम्बन्धलाई अझै नजिक बनाउने काम गर्छ. किन भन्दै राज्यको शक्ति कहाँ छ? स्थानीय स्तरमा छ, होइन. राज्य शक्ति चाहिँ राज्यको शक्ति अथवा त्यो पावर चाहिँ कहाँ छ? स्थानीय निकाय. त्यो अथोरिटी यहाँ स्थानीय निकायसँग छ भनेपछि त्यो स्थानीय निकाय कहाँ छ भन्दा तपाईँ हाम्रो नजिकमा रहन्छ. त्यो भएको हुनाले यसले के पनि गर्छ भन्दा यो सर्भिस चाहिँ के गर्छ? हाम्रो डोर स्टेपमा, घर घरमा हामीले राज्यका सुविधाहरू चाहिँ घर घरमा उपभोग गर्न पाउँछौँ. यो चाहिँ संघीयताको महत्त्व हो. यी चाहिँ दिज आर द इम्पोर्टेन्स अफ फेडरलिजम. अब मोस्ट अफ द थिङ्स आर बिङ रिपिटेड हियर टु, है. अब एडभान्टेजेस अफ फेडरलिजम. What are the advantages of federalism? Means address diversity. This is one advantage. Our country is based upon the diversity, cultural, ethnic, or many diversities are there. I am not going to repeat it again, isn't it? And this helps to address the diversity, isn't it? This helps to address the diversity. Very first advantage of federalism is. Another, separation of power. power is divided or division of power from federal, provincial and local. This is another advantage in our country, isn't it? Separation of power. Power is being separated from federal, provincial and this, isn't it? That is another. And resource sharing. Now resources also are being shared in different layers of government, like federal, provincial, local, isn't it? This is another. The resource of the country is usually shared among the central government and the other constituent political unit. Other constituent political units means provincial and local levels, isn't it? Another effective and immediate response, like since the either local or central government is always closer to citizens, means here provincial and mostly local level government is very close to the people, means close to us, isn't it? Or us means we are the citizens. And it always easy of entities to handle and respond to public demands and current issues from local level. Means what are the current demands of the local people? What are our demands? What are our needs? Isn't it? Those things are being handled or responded by the local levels. That will be easy and faster. This is another advantage. Increased public participation means federalism helps to increase the public participation. Means when power and authority is handed over to the local level, obviously we get chance to participate in each and every state functions, or that executives or governments function, each and every development functions and other functions, isn't it? Or other work, we can participate. So that when we participate in that, means that helps to increase the public participation, isn't it? These are the advantages of federalism. And federalism has some challenges, isn't it? Problems or challenges of federalism in our country. Yes. And simply I'm going to wrap up this with these points. Unequal distribution of means and resources between the state may lead misunderstanding among the states. Like if means and resources of the nation are not distributed equally in all parts of the nation, isn't it? That leads to a conflict among the states, means among the province or among the local levels. There are some evidences. And like others, like this form is expensive form of government, this federal form is, isn't it? And there are other problems too. And to discuss these problems, we will meet in another class. And in next class, we'll wrap up the federalism, or we'll briefly revise the previous one, and we'll discuss about the problems and challenges of federalism in our country, and then we move ahead. Okay, to know about what are the problems of federalism or what are the challenges of federalism, we'll meet in the next class on next Monday. Thank you.
प्याप्सन दूर शिक्षा संचार सूचना र मनोरञ्जनको मात्र नभई शिक्षाको माध्यम पनि हो। घरमै सम्भव छ विद्यालयको पढाइ। टेलिभिजनमै आउनुहुन्छ शिक्षकहरू। जनता टेलिभिजन र प्याप्सनको सहकार्यमा सञ्चालित कार्यक्रम प्याप्सन दूर शिक्षा कक्षा 7 देखि 10 सम्मका विद्यार्थीहरूलाई नेपाली, अंग्रेजी, गणित, विज्ञान तथा सामाजिक शिक्षाको पढाइ जनता टेलिभिजनमा हरेक दिन बिहान 10:05 देखि 11:55 र दिउँसो 12:25 देखि 1 बजेसम्म। जहाँ रहे पनि तपाई टाढा हुनुहुन्न, टेलिभिजन हेर्नुहोस्, आँखैमा छ विद्यालय। जनसम्पर्कको साँघु जनता टेलिभिजन।